Have you ever met someone who just drains the energy out of a room? You know, the kind of person who makes you feel tired and empty after spending time with them. It's not always easy to pinpoint exactly what it is about them that has such an effect on us, right? But there are certain signs of negative energy in a person that can help us figure it out. Here are the 7 most common ones. What is negative energy? Before we can dive into the signs, it's important to understand what negative energy is. Negative energy refers to negative thoughts that get stuck in a person's mind, causing negative emotions and actions. These emotions can range from fear, anger, jealousy, or even hatred, and lead to negative behavior. Negative energy builds up over time until it's released through negative actions. For example, if you hold your anger inside, it accumulates until you finally lose control and lash out at someone. When someone emits negative energy, they drain your energy in some way. Some negative energy emitters are aware of what they are doing, while others are not. It's the subtle negative energy of a person that is often more harmful than their overtly negative behavior. Most people are exposed to negative energy without even realizing it. Have there been periods in your life when you constantly felt negative emotions? If so, you have felt negative energy yourself. How to identify negative energy in a person? Now that you have a better understanding of negative energy, let's look at how to identify it. Here are the 7 most common signs of a person with negative energy to watch out for. 1. They are jealous. Jealousy is one of the most common forms of negativity and can be destructive to your relationship with this person and your own mental health. Jealous people are often insecure and have low self-esteem. They may be possessive and always need to be in control. Jealous people can also be very manipulative and often use guilt or threats to get what they want. Some common traits of jealous people include criticizing others, finding faults, blaming, feeling distrustful, being overly protective or suspicious, acting obsessively, having a short temper, verbally abusive. 2. They are critical of others. People with a lot of negative energy will find something wrong in almost any situation. Nothing is ever perfect. They are dissatisfied and critical of everything, and nothing makes them happy. They have a love-hate relationship with the world and people. Criticism is a form of manipulation aimed at establishing control. A person who criticizes either wants to change the other person through it or gain superiority by putting someone else down. Usually, overly critical people use criticism to validate their insecurities and confirm their self-perception. 3. They have little tolerance for disappointment. When someone has little tolerance for disappointment, it is a sign of negative energy. Why? Because the only way they can effectively show how incapable they are of letting go of their disappointments is to hold on to them until they affect them so much that they feel stifled. This means that constant negative thoughts weigh down this person's mind. So, if you see someone who gets angry or upset over small things like being late, interrupting, being thrown something, and similar things that are normal for most people, then know that this person is emitting some form of negative energy. No matter how small these disappointments seem to you, for them, it's enough to cause an explosion or at least some form of irritation. Since their mind is constantly burdened with negative thoughts, they have very little tolerance for disappointment. They often feel cheated when they don't get what they want. 4. They can't handle criticism. Negative people often do not take criticism constructively. They either don't listen at all or take it too personally, and it bothers them. They might get angry over something trivial like how you criticize their cooking or dwell on your words long after your speech is forgotten, both indicating that they emit negative energy. If someone constantly gets angry or hurt by your words, know that they can't handle criticism. But, of course, you should also avoid making remarks that could be perceived as harsh. Don't criticize them intentionally over trifles and try to be tactful. But if someone experiences emotional pain every time you talk to them about some aspect of their behavior, habits, or appearance that they need to change, even if done in a light-hearted manner, then know that this person emits some negative energy. In short, these people are extremely sensitive and easily hurt, and soon enough, it affects their entire emotional state. They feel attacked when someone gives them negative feedback, even if it's constructive. On the outside, it may seem like they take criticism calmly, but inside, they are outraged by what you said. They will replay your words over and over until that disappointment turns into anger, and then it will be directed at you for hurting them. This is because their negative thoughts affect not only how they act but also how they perceive things. Since they are always looking for something to be upset about, even constructive criticism feels like an attack to them. 5. They are afraid to take risks. Taking risks means not only being impulsive and following intuition but also being able to take calculated risks. Those who can effectively use their intuition without burdening themselves with negative thoughts act independently and bravely when necessary. Since negative people are always afraid of losing something, they never dare to take risks. They think that taking risks means more losing than winning. Since their negative energy aims to protect themselves from losses, they are constantly afraid, so instead of taking risks, they prefer to stay put. That's why they don't make future plans. After all, if something doesn't happen quickly enough, they might miss out altogether. As a result, you'll often hear them say something like, "If I wanted to do it earlier, I would have done it then, but now I've moved on." Whenever they are forced to take a risk, they will try to find any reason not to do it. They may seem like the only reasonable ones, but deep down, they are held back by their fears. 6. They quickly label things as bad and are pessimistic. Negative people quickly label things as bad. If you tell them something is good, they will argue that it could have been better, and that's because they always find flaws in everything and everyone around them. Their thoughts are so clouded by negativity that positive things don't impress them. They will always see the flaws in anything before they see the merits, so you will never get any constructive suggestions from them. Similarly, when a person constantly sees the negative side of any situation, they become pessimistic. They always look at what could go wrong in a given situation, and even if they see a slight chance of something going wrong, they avoid any risks associated with it. For example, when they are offered something that sounds very good, they usually respond with, "Yes, but what if this happens?" This is because they constantly look at things from a pessimistic point of view. In the end, it gives them more protection from losses. They will only trust something when they see it working for themselves, offering them some help. Essentially, if something works for someone else, they won't try it by default. Instead, they are likely to scoff at the idea and even ridicule you for suggesting it. 7. They are secretive but curious. Negative people are secretive about everything that concerns them but also curious about others' affairs. Since they don't want to share anything about themselves, they will always try to fish for information about other people. Once you recognize this trait, you'll realize that negative people are interested in others' lives only because their own lives are so empty. Instead of working on making themselves happy, they look at what everyone else is doing and make it their mission to criticize them for it. When they talk about others, you'll notice their eyes light up, and their tone changes, but whenever they are asked questions about themselves or what they are doing, they become defensive and angry. For example, when someone they know is in a relationship, they will talk about it all day. But if you ask them what their personal life is like, they will immediately stop talking and change the subject. The more negative energy they have, the more likely they are to interfere in others' plans out of sheer curiosity. Generally, they want to know what you're up to so they can find some way to dissuade you from trying it. After all, they don't want you to get ahead of them. While you might not be able to make inherently negative people positive, you can certainly limit the amount of negativity they spread around. The moment you recognize their negative energy, try to limit your interaction with them. This will greatly help you in your journey to remove negative energy. Remember, negativity spreads like an epidemic, and if you're around it too long, it can affect your health. So surround yourself with people who constantly strive to stay positive. You could take another step and help them find a more positive outlook on life so they can be happy too, but that's easier said than done. It's not easy to keep inherently negative people positive, but that doesn't mean you can't make an effort. After all, you never know when your positivity might affect them, and they start to become positive too. Thank you for exploring self-knowledge and the universe with me. Trust yourself, listen to your heart, and move forward with confidence and peace. Share in the comments if you've encountered people with negative energy. Like and share this video with your friends if you found it helpful. See you next time on my channel, where we will continue to explore the mysteries of spiritual growth and development. Goodbye, and may light and wisdom always accompany you on your journey.